Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest edition of the Broad Street Line. I am Roy Burton. Alongside me, as always, my tag team partner and a man who may be the only person in America who still listens to Drake, one Chris Domingo. Always, we say during this pandemic, this air quote Saturday morning, sir.
Oh man, I think you've been hacking my whatever the heck it is for Spotify Rap for Apple Music.
It was a very entertaining night on Wednesday night. For those of you who did see or didn't see, you probably heard about the Juneteenth concert, Ken and Friends at the Forum in LA. It was a funeral for one Aubrey Drake Graham, and it was a coronation for one Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, I don't never like I've never seen so much hate for a man on one stage in my life, and
Now, by the way, Roy, where so it's pretty apparent that Kendrick to basically because I mean he's an all time great artist like hip hop whatever. Does he need motivation? Because I feel that I don't know that has been lacking for a long time. I feel like I don't know even a I wouldn't say mailed in album, but I feel that I don't know the last couple albums that Kendrick has put out, they're good, but I feel that I don't know he needs to kind of dig in because not like us is literally one of the best hip hop songs that has been released in I would say the last five half I don't know half decade easily.
I agree. I agree.
And I feel that I don't did anyone care about that last Kendrick album?
Yeah, it didn't get a lot of spins until this whole beef started. The Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers didn't get a lot of spins until everything kind of came down with Drake, and then people kind of went back and say, "All right, I kind of get it." But the one before that, I mean, that's the thing. The one before that was Damn, and it won a Pulitzer. So it's
Yeah.
I guess he's like, after you win a Pulitzer, it's like, all right, what else can I really do in this? But you're right. Like sometimes, sometimes hate, sometimes anger is a great motivator, and sometimes you need a little bit of motivation to get back in the booth and kind of get at it. And because again, when this Drake beef started, we got like hate anthems from like Kendrick Lamar like back to back to back.
Yeah.
He just he just kind of came with the hate, and he kind of culminated the hate fest. I assume culminated. I guess this is over. I don't know if this is over, but maybe he culminated this with the Juneteenth concert at the Forum. I don't really know what you do with Drake at this point. Drake just kind of hang out this summer, do
Oh,
whatever
but
it is that you want to do with
I don't
kids.
know. People are I don't know. Right now, he kind of looks like 2024 Ja Rule, but this
Right.
isn't Ja Rule. This is I don't know. I don't know. Of course, people just. I think it's almost even hip hop fans are I don't know trying to wipe themselves off the fact that they've been listening to Drake for 15 years. I don't know. It really is I don't know. It's Drake isn't cool basically right now. I
It's
don't
not
know.
cool right now. Right.
And
Not cool.
and I think, but the attention span of everyone, I feel that, I don't know, he'll be, the next time that he, drops, a bar that's not related to Kendrick, I don't know, this is the type of thing you just, I don't know, you just walk away. I don't know, don't echo that man's name. Give yourself 6 months. And, I don't know, the thing is, Drake has mastered the machine that frankly his name is still I don't know people are saying oh I don't know he it's toxic. I'm you don't I don't know there's still a lot of people that even when all this happens if he throws down a banger with Little Baby or whoever
Sure.
because no this is what I have I don't know the story of kind of entertainment and everything and media is you will do business with someone that you shouldn't do business with to make money. I don't know, because I saw that, I don't know, I Shannon Sharp had Dana White on his podcast, and of course, people are just up in arms because Dana White, I don't know, suspect background, I don't know, Donald Trump friend. It's this is where I think people on the internet and people in life, frankly, just don't get that you to be successul in that entertainment genre, you need to deal with suspect people. It's a fact of life, and I don't. And if you don't want to be successful, and if you just want to stay in your lane and try to be virtuous, knock yourself out. I admire you for that. But if you want to reach that next level, you gotta I don't know And I feel that Drake someone that is the up and coming artist of the end of 2024 is going to be yo, I need to make a splash. call up Drake, and that's going to be the end of it. And then like he'll put out some like a good out like I think he needs to come back hard. And I don't like it's not like he needs to take like you just need to stop with this beef. I mean, this is a one-sided beef. But if Drake puts out a really good album, I don't even think it needs to be good. It needs to be commercially good. Like this is where like I feel that like Drake probably was looking for like acceptance from like I don't know deep hip hop people. And he's probably like, you know what? I'm never gonna get them. So you know what? I'll just keep making money because I feel that like I don't know isn't like other than Kendrick, which who would probably want like is striving for acceptance and like I don't know this like legitimate like respect in hip hop. At this point, I feel like Drake's like for who for what? Like it's a losing battle for me.
Yeah, well, that's the way I think he should be. And look, Drake knows how to make hip hop songs. I mean, he has multiple songs on Spotify and have 1 billion streams, right? Like he can just go into the booth and between now and whenever he wants to come out with his next song, six months or whatever, if you want to use that time frame. Between now and then, he can come out with a couple of songs that, like you said, it'll kind of just make everybody not forget this. But it's like, all right, you know what? Like this is a banger, and I'm going to listen to it in my car, and I don't care what anybody says. But for now, you need to kind of like tuck your tail between your legs and kind of go in the back and spend. Well, don't bet like you bet because again, you were a terrible sports wagerer. But spend the money that you've made on noble pursuits, and then come back once all this noise has died down a little bit, and you'll be fine. I mean, it's all good. You lost this battle, but it's fine. Like you were a superstar. You're a global superstar.
Yeah, no, and like people are like, "Oh, hip hop's gonna like leave Drake." I'm like, yeah, that's the thing about hip hop is, have you seen the artists that are viable right now? You don't think that like the first hot Drake record, they're gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna play the living bejesus out of this out. This is like, it's just such extremism that like I don't know. It's like hot takeism is just invaded every like purview of like reality. It's a think tank, and it really truly. Like if I like, thankfully there are moments like Wednesday and Thursday that make Twitter. I mean, Twitter. It'll never be X to me. That make it worthwhile. But overall, it's just like I don't know. It's a bad habit. It's like smoking for me, frankly.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like it's bad, and that the guy who's behind it is not a guy that basically you want to have a beer with or whatever like that, and you're probably on some level contributing to his bottom line. But it is what it is. I saw this tweet. I gotta pull it up. Someone said basically is like I don't know. It's like like do you like have you ever done crack or something? And then the response was like, I've never done crack, but I've been addicted to this website for 10 years. So I kind of understand what the feeling, I understand what the feeling is. And I'm like, you know what? Like, that's really what it is. Like, it really can be that way.
And I think that like over the Topher time, we have laid the ethos is people just want to be entertained. Like people have people just work. Like people just do like, I don't know, are grinding, trying to just like live. And you know what? If they want to, like, I don't know, like, listen to a Drake song or watch, or like, I don't know, like, watch MMA, like, I don't know. I mean, if you really had to do, like, a thesis on how many suspect people you were putting money in their bottom line, like, it would be like that, like, Chris Jericho, like, meme, where, like, I don't know, in WCW, where, like, the list, no, you just need to just get past it. Like, I don't like, or unless you just want to just like, I don't know, just cringe yourself every time that you like make a transaction and you're like, fine, if you want to live like that, I'm not.
So we are going to transition from the Drake concert, or the Drake concert, the
I was going to say, oh no, I thought you were going to say someone that is walking with their tail in between their legs. I thought you meant a certain general manager.
No. We'll get to that. Well, that's part of it. That's part of it. But there was a person on stage at that K-Dot concert who might be one of the fallback plans for said general manager. Of course, that person who was on stage is DeMar DeRozan. That general manager, of course, is Daryl Morey. We're going to talk a lot of Sixers because a lot of news has come down over the past
not good
72 hours. 72 hours. That's not. Is it good? Is it bad? Who knows? Like again, we won't be able to judge this until a couple of years from now, probably. But
sorry, but I think we can agree that if nothing like it is almost uncanny the lack of luck or just like the way the ball bounces in the offseason. It continues to not roll the Sixers way. All
right, I'm gonna push back on this. When we talk Sixers, I'm gonna push back on this because nothing has happened. Nothing has happened at all. And everybody is like, oh my God, this is over. This is doom and gloom for the Sixers. Nothing's happened. And nobody's got signed. Nobody said they're not coming here. Nothing has happened. Let things happen. Let the season play out, and then we can discuss it. I don't understand. Well, all right. Well, I'll save it. Because people are saying like the sky is falling and Chicken Little and all that stuff. I was like, bro, like free agency hasn't started yet. Like, what are we doing?
But a reasonable prediction is lending people to say the sky is falling, and I agree because I feel that like I don't know like you and of course now I'm hearing the rationalizations of this wasn't a good time for the Sixers to have cap room. Where was this discussion about this? No, this is where the coping bothers me. Where like you're saying,
that's a fair discussion. That's a fair discussion, right? Like if you want to have that argument, somebody, not you, but if somebody wants to have that argument, that's a fair argument to have. If you want to say the Sixers planned poorly, that's a fair argument to have. But to say with like this offseason is already donezo already, it's like, all right, well, let's let it play out first, and then let's talk about it. That's all. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's all. But yeah, we'll talk some Sixers. A lot of NBA news coming down the pike. Of course, we need to discuss the new NBA champions, your Boston Celtics, and your cosplayer himself, Jason Tatum, who just mimics everybody's celebration when he goes around with that NBA Finals trophy in his hand. Of course, we need to talk about Hassan Reddick's journey to Japan, because that man is having himself a time when it comes to having fun and not actually going to football practice, because that is an amazing story. And we got some wrestling news, some super, super, super early news when it comes to the SummerSlam card. It looks like it's already coming together. We have a pay-per-view coming up in a couple of weeks, but we've already kind of passed that buck on Money in the Bank and already looking forward to SummerSlam. So a lot of stuff to get to this edition of the Broad Street Line. So we always say, sit back, relax, take a ride on the Broad Street Line. The future Sports Talk Radio has finally arrived. Any shout outs, sir?
No, let's just say the usual thank yous.
Before we get to our thank yous, thank you guys, the listeners, the supporters, everybody who supports the show, everybody who retweets the show, everybody who listens to the show, whether it's on 106.5 FM or wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, YouTube, Spotify, all that good stuff. Thank you guys for all your support, supporting us and supporting the WPPM 2024 Fund Drive. Got the email earlier this week about the Fund Drive, and the state radio station, 106.5 FM here in Philly, was able to raise $6,437 towards the station's goal. So we truly, truly appreciate it. The goal was $7,500. So we're still looking forward to raise some money. So if you can, please, wppm.phillycam.org. If you go there, you'll see the donate button. Please donate. Again, you can donate $1. Doesn't even matter. Every dollar matters, because it goes to funding the radio station, all the cool stuff that we do here at Philly Cam Radio. And if and when you do, please tag the Broad Street Line in your donation, and we will be forever, forever grateful. I know like $40 get you a t-shirt, $75 get you like a t-shirt and a tote bag, some cool stuff. I think there might be some giveaways as well. So still looking to raise money, but we did raise over $6,000 for our fund drive. So thank you guys. We truly appreciate all the support that you've given us here at Philly Cam Radio. And again, wherever you get our podcast, please tell a friend to download our show. And while you're doing all that, please follow us on the Twitter machine. Chris is at SKD215. I am at the BS Line. We got a lot of stuff going on this week. Well, I have a lot of stuff going on this weekend, because we got the Euro soccer action this weekend. Little turkey game coming up in an hour or two here on Saturday. We got some track and field trials, so I'll be tweeting about that. I don't know if you're back on the Phillies bandwagon.
No, like I feel that, like, I don't know, like, I have been pondering this, and I'll be pondering it right now until like probably the next 20 minutes. Do I get Apple TV for the rest of the season, or is it not worth it? Like, I mean, how many Phillies games will there possibly be? Because I already looked, and I think you
can look it up. Yeah.
No, because so far it's not updated past July. Or is that or is that the end of it? Like, I don't know. I didn't know whether, because I wasn't sure if they covered games till like the end of the season. Like, I don't like, and it's just, for me, it's not a big deal, but it's like there is nothing else I would watch on Apple TV except this. And it's like, do I need to watch the possibly 4 Phillies games out of 80? Or how many games left in the season for this? I don't know. But if I do, I'll be watching that. And if not, I'll be tweeting more about this Joe Henry guy, who is just fascinating to me, because I've been trying to like read up on this dude because like I don't know, people are saying overnight sensation, which is a complete lie every time. There's no such thing. This guy's been wrestling for almost 15 years. Like I don't know, and I don't know. I just love hearing about like I don't know random success stories like that.
Good. I do want to mention, since you brought up Apple, and thanks for that, because tomorrow, Sunday, we got the Roku game, the Roku morning game. Eagles, Phillies, 11:35 on the Roku app. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a Roku app. But if you want to watch the Phillies on Sunday, tomorrow, you're going to have to tune into your Roku, some Roku-enabled device, your TV, your Roku stick or whatever, and watch the Phillies tomorrow. That's the Roku game. This is the only Roku game of the year, as far as I'm aware of the Phillies. So keep that in mind for those of you looking to watch the Phillies on Sunday. Do want to circle back to the baseball. Since you mentioned baseball again, we do need to pay our respects to literally the greatest player of all time. I don't think that's a much of a debate for many people who passed away this week, and that was, of course, Willie Mays. Was the greatest living player. Like I said, probably the greatest living player ever. If you want to say it was Babe Ruth, then you can. But I mean, Willie Mays is the guy. If you ask basically anybody, who was the best player they ever watched growing up, longtime baseball guys, they will always tell you Willie Mays. Just, the say hey kid, just one of the most amazing talents, like the literal definition of a five-tool talent. Could run, could hit, could throw, 301 average, 660 home runs. I think he was the first guy who had like 300 home runs and 300 stolen bases, but he has like 600 home runs and 300 stolen bases. 24-time All-Star, which is insane in itself. 10 gold gloves, missed 2 years of military service, probably would have had a couple more gold gloves and a couple more MVPs. Obviously, the first thing many people think of when they think of Willie Mays was that infamous, over-the-shoulder catch in the 1954 World Series that kind of helped the Giants win the title. But again, like Willie Mays is an absolute monster of a talent, godfather to Barry Bonds, just the greatest. I mean, just the absolute greatest player of all time. And we're in successive weeks now. We've lost two of the greats of their sport. Jerry West in the NBA and Willie Mays in baseball. And and it's sad, but I mean, it's glad that it was a good thing, on some level that the Major League Baseball, had this week, especially Wednesday, scheduled for the Rickwood Field game down in Birmingham to highlight all of the Negro League contributions to Major League Baseball. So the timing kind of worked out when it came to the Willie Mays tribute. But again, for those of you who don't know, like we always say when someone passes, for those of you who do not know about Willie Mays and the legend of Willie Mays, if you're a baseball fan, you do. But if you don't know, please do yourself a favor and just kind of do some digging on Willie Mays, because again, the baseball players do not come better than Willie Mays. Period.
No,
like at all.
No, so. Because he's one of the few that have 100 legitimate home runs. I don't know, for me, he's the greatest of all time. And I don't know, 661 because they're all legit. They're not enhanced. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Willie Mays is baseball. I don't know. You can I don't know, put Babe Ruth in there and I don't know a couple other. But for me, Willie Mays is baseball. I don't know. If you think about baseball at its peak, you think about you think about Willie Mays. I mean, it really it's very Jerry West. When we're I don't know, you cannot tell the first chapter of the history of baseball is. I don't know. Is dedicated to Willie Mays. Not I don't know. He's sharing with anyone. It's dedicated to Willie Mays. Played on some of the most iconic teams in the history of baseball. Some of I don't know. You go by moments. You go by stats. You go by. I hate to use this online term, aura. And Willie Mays had it all.
Everything. No, everything. And again, if you talk to Barry Bonds, you talk to Ken Griffey, you talk to guys who cover the game like Buster Olney, you talk to all the everybody Negro League players, because Willie Mays even started in the Negro League before he joined the major leagues and played for the Giants. If you talk to anybody, it's who's the best player you ever saw, who's the guy who got made you fall in love with baseball? It's Willie Mays. I mean, he's that guy. And I'm kind of curious to see. I imagine that the Major League Baseball do some kind of league-wide tribute to Willie Mays at some point. They already named, I believe, the World Series MVP is named the Willie Mays Trophy. I don't know if they'll do some kind of patch or something more significant for Willie Mays this season. But again, Willie Mays is just an all-timer, and then our condolences to his family, his loved ones, his friends, and everybody who grew up watching Willie Mays, because we absolutely lost a legend earlier this week. But again, his memory, his memory, just like the memory of Jerry West will stay alive for forever and ever and ever. So again, Willie Mays again passed away this week at the age of 93. I did want to mention as well, since you had brought up the Sixers GM and the whole Drake and Kendrick beef. I did want to mention that there was another man, I guess, who probably could have been on stage at that Kendrick concert, because he's from Palmdale. I don't know where Palmdale is. I think it's a close spot. No, that's in Oakland. Never mind. I'm getting my Californian cities mixed up. Paul George is from Palmdale, which is not near Inglewood, which is not near Compton, which is where DeMar DeRozan's from. But Paul George in the news as well, because according to reports, Sixers kind of lukewarm on Paul George at the moment. According to Shams Charania, the JJ Redick whisperer himself, he said, quote, "The Philadelphia 76ers' interest in pursuing George has significantly waned in recent days. The franchise is expected to be aggressive elsewhere with the salary cap flexibility and draft capital leading into next week's NBA draft." Chris Domingo, when you hear that statement, what does that make you think?
Damage control. And I'm not saying the faction. I feel like, I don't know, this is, you didn't, like Joel Embiid, like, I don't know, all of a sudden is recruiting his rear end off, and then a week later he's like, the team leaks something to Shams and says, "Oh, we're not interested." Now this is getting ahead of the story that Paul George frankly didn't want to come. And if anyone who's discussed this rationally, this isn't surprising. It's not surprising to me. But I feel that the reason why it's surprising is you don't rarely, but I think we try to lay out the emotional factors on why he didn't want LA. Like, I don't know, probably not a big fan of like doesn't really want to go east to a winter, like, I don't know, like this environment. And we didn't know how he would handle, like, I don't know, just a fan base that is frankly smelling blood in the water every day. I don't know if he wanted to be part of that. And I feel that, like, I don't know, this is, I think, and nothing's really being said right now is, do you think that a guy that he played with all season, probably telling him how much he hates that franchise, factored into this?
It's not a 0% chance.
No.
I don't know how close him and James Harden are, Paul George and James Harden are, but I'm sure James Harden, he saw James Harden last summer go to China and say Daryl Morey's a liar, right? So I'm sure, whatever, hashtag negotiations, because again, they can't really talk to the guy at this point, but whatever hashtag negotiations, his agent have had with Daryl Morey, whatever information's got back to him, he's probably in the back of his mind thinking, hey, you know what? Do I really want to play for this dude? Like, is he going to, is it only up and up? Like, whatever. I'm sure that's part of it.
But I feel that they thought that he was like what Ted DiBiase said. Everyone has a price. And they felt that a 35-year-old, a guy that's going to be 35 with a pretty rich injury history the last 5 years. I mean, he's not, like, I don't know, a beacon of health, would say, you know what? I'm going to take all the negatives that James Harden told me every day for the last 9 months and say, you know what? I could put those dollar bills in my ears, like, and just ignore it for the rest of the time and sign here. But apparently he didn't, which I feel is very, I hate using the word unprecedented because it's probably, I mean, it's happened before. I don't know the instance, but it's shocking that, like, I don't know. And frankly, it's not a good look on the Sixers. I mean, like, you had max cap room, and I'm not sure if, like, I wonder if the Sixers planned for this. Like, I wonder if they planned on getting rejected like this.
I would think so. If I'm the Sixers, if I'm the Sixers, this wouldn't have been my plan A. But if I'm the Sixers, like, I think they probably would have thought this, because on some level, I think if you're Daryl Morey, I think you would have expected the Clippers to just give Paul George a max deal, because he's a very talented player. You want to kind of keep that core together, the James Harden, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard core together. I think the Sixers probably would have expected the Clippers to give him a max deal. The Clippers, according to Brian Windhorst, have only given Paul George a 3-year deal at max money. Basically calling his bluff, saying, like, look, man, like, we know you don't want to go nowhere. Like, you don't want to go to the cold weather. You don't want to play for that liar Daryl Morey. You ain't going to Utah. You ain't going to OKC, which is smart. I mean, again, if I'm the Clippers, that's a really smart, shrewd business move, because Paul George doesn't have a lot of leverage. You know, I mean, he could opt into his contract and demand a trade, but it's like, so if you just want to sign and get money, there's only a couple places you can go to get money, and you don't want to go east, like like you said. So they're trying to call his bluff, and he's like, all right, well, no, like I don't want to do that. So according to Brian Windhorst, the plan seems to be for Paul George is to opt in the final year of his contract and just demand a trade that way, and say, you know what,
Basically, the irony of doing of basically just what James Harden did.
Right. Yeah. The James Harden move. Yeah. Just opt into your last deal, and say like, look, now you can trade. Now you have more options to trade me.
Which I don't believe the Sixers thought. I thought it was an either or. Where like I don't know, right. Because really the landscape isn't like I don't know, like there aren't many guys like I mean like because I feel that like I don't know, they really thought it was LA or Philly. In my estimation, felt it was LA or bust. Like LA or Philly. There weren't any intermediate choices because they didn't think he would leave $200 million on the table. And
right, but he never got the $200 million. That was the thing. He never was offered the $200 million. Right. So
yeah, like, but okay. This is I don't know. It's really surprising, and I feel that like I don't know. This shows you that fact that Paul George is kind of doing gymnastics not to go to Philly. It's a bummer. It screams to a larger issue that there is something about this this franchise, the team, the coaches, the players, what have you, that they cannot land a top dog, whether it's through a free agent move, a trade. Like, I don't know what it is, but something is just off. And maybe like there's never been a like, you know how that NFLPA survey of like all the franchises that have like crappy facilities or like, I don't know, treated like there hasn't been one of the NBA. I would love to know what other players and other executives feel about the NBA, about the Sixers.
That's a good question. I think obviously that the I won't say outlook. That the current, let me say this. I think people's opinion of the Sixers is more favorable today than it was before Morey got here.
But I do feel that
said, like, is Philadelphia a premier free agent destination? The answer is no, clearly.
No, because I think there have been enough instances to say that contrary, that like I don't know, even if you have a trunk of cash, which the Sixers do, they can't get that. No, and I think it comes back to, and I've heard these things where like these players don't really appreciate being looked at as just these commodities. And frankly, this is the school of Hinkie Morey. I mean, isn't this like the way that like these guys are like other than the stars, you are kind of treated as just movable commodities, and it to be desired. I mean, the results of this sort of kind of philosophy is unsuccessful.
Well, I don't know if I don't think Morey thinks of these guys a certain way. I think it's a little bit different now.
No, but I feel that like I don't know. He's always kind of bent over for the superstars. Like I don't know. Like I mean, the Harden situation is pretty clear there. But I feel that like I don't know. There is. I would love to like I don't know. Maybe I'll do some reading tonight. I would love to know how the NBA players feel about Daryl Morey, because like him, like I don't know, but players don't come to teams to play for GMs. They don't. I mean, unless you're Riles, and they're not coming to play for Riles. They're coming to play for the Heat. Like right. So what is it? You just had $60 million. You supposedly have 2 stars. I don't know. Is it not wanting to play with a guy that, frankly, hasn't been available at the end of the season? I mean,
Paul George doesn't want to leave LA. And if he has to leave LA, he wants to leave LA to go to a specific situation that he loves more than like a really, really good situation. And he probably and I can't think of one offhand, but he probably thinks that, you know what, there's a team out there that I like that's better positioned to win a title than the Sixers. I haven't looked at the cap space and available dudes or whatever like that, but I'm sure you and I can kind of think of 3 or 4. But
what is it about the Sixers that doesn't make them, if they have 2 stars, is it? Because I frankly, like, people are avoiding the elephant in the room is, do other superstars trust Joel Embiid?
I don't even think it's that. I think, again, if you're Paul, seriously, to be honest with you, I think Paul George is like, all right, can I go to Miami, right? Can I go to like a better city that's a good team? You know, like if there's a spot where I'd rather go that's not cold in the winter, that's a pretty decent team. Again, like not Milwaukee. I'm trying to think of another team other than Miami, but I can't. I'm kind of drawing a blank. But like Miami has the pieces that they can make a Paul George trade if they want to. And so if I'm Paul George, I'm like, all right, I can go to Miami. I can play with Jimmy Butler. I can play with Bam Adebayo. Whatever, and I can just hang out on South Beach. I'd rather do that than go to Philadelphia. Like I understand that. Like I understand that line of thinking.
Yeah,
I think that's his line of thinking.
But it's not just Paul George. Like, is there because they have had chances to get I don't know. There's just something beneath the scenes that, frankly, I don't know. Like Milwaukee has gotten better talent through acquisition and free agency than the Sixers. There's something that is not appealing to a star player for playing here. That's just and this isn't some sort of I don't know, just hot take. It's years of they have the two biggest free agents they have gotten in this era are Al Horford and Tobias Harris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I listen, I get it, and I don't really have a good reason for the Milwaukee thing. Like I don't have a good answer for the Milwaukee thing.
It's because the star player. No, it's because it's the star player is reliable. I don't know. I mean, you don't think that these players are saying, "Yo, man, this boy Embiid is a beast, but he can't stay healthy." That's
fair. Yeah, that's a fair criticism. And again, I don't know how much that factors into the whole Paul George thing.
No, I don't. Does. Yeah, no, like you said, 0%. And no, I'll be honest. I feel that I don't know if you had to do a pie chart of what the reasons that Paul George didn't want to come to the Sixers. I'd say it ain't LA or it ain't
Correct.
I don't know, a livable city. I would say number 2. I would say Harden being in his ear saying I don't know, this team is going to screw you when you least. In the end, they'll screw you. I feel I don't know. That was the message hard. And he's like, you know what? What happens if Joel goes down? I'm I didn't come here to I don't know. I came here to collect $50 million and be the third best player.
Yep. That's it. So again, that's why I'm like, all right, well, I'm not sitting here saying all right, well, I understand Paul George's logic in this. I understand that. If I'm Paul George, I might be inclined to make the same decision given everything.
Absolutely. No, but
here's the thing though. But if you're a Sixers fan, right, and you, first of all, you a lot of Sixers fans didn't want Paul George, right? But they got kind of warmed up to the idea over the last couple of weeks. All right, he's probably the best dude out there, or whatever. Now he's not. Now he's probably not coming. So now, why is the sky falling now? Now, if you understand of what Paul George is, not you again, you in the royal sense. If someone understands Paul George's logic about not wanting to come here, and you didn't want to do it anyway, and now he's not coming here, why is it oh man, Daryl Morey already fumbled the ball? I can't connect the dots on this.
No, because you're trying to connect logic to the Sixers fans. This no, I think someone said it best is I don't know. You need some level of I don't know. I'll buy whatever they sell me, but it needs to be half decent. I don't know. We're I don't know. And I feel that in the end, they said, you know what? This is where Sixers fans are. You need to be so willing to give up all sort of logic. You'd be okay, I don't know, Daryl, you got me. Because that's all you have right now. Mike O'Connor wrote this really amazing article about just I don't know, the Celtics and I don't know, this being painful for the Sixers, and they're why do Sixers fans keep coming back? And frankly, I'm one of these people that I really haven't come back since since June 2021. I'm cursory there, and I'm not mentally there. I feel I watch the games, I comment, I watch. I love basketball, but I'm not they have gotten too much blood out of me for me to give any more blood. But there is a lot of Sixers fans that are saying, you know what? Here's another point. And you know what? They'll be willing to give you another point if you give them anything to gnaw at, to say a hope. It's hope. Paul George, I don't think it was the biggest hope, but they're you know what? We need hope. And hope was taken away from them. Paul George was and now they're saying, you know what? What's next? What's the next hope?
So, all right, so let's discuss the next hope, because again, there are rumors out there that possibly the next hope. There's Reports that OG Anunoby not thrilled with the Knicks offer, and it seems like he's going to be testing the free agent market once the free agency starts in, I guess, about a week and a half, end of the month. I've seen reports saying that the floor for OG Anunoby was $35 million a year, and that the ceiling is the max, which I don't even know what it is for Anunoby, but it seems like a lot. But I would have no problems with $140 for OG Anunoby. If the Sixers were to sign OG Anunoby for something along those lines, that's a good deal. That's the deal I prefer over anything, to be honest with you.
I give OG, and I know there was injury concern with OG Anunoby. I give OG Anunoby the adjusted for inflation Tobias Harris contract.
Yeah,
that's how much
Tobias deal.
Yeah, no, I feel that, I don't know. He fits. He has some level of winning DNA. This is where I just pick off a bunch of dudes because, I don't know, any of the hopeful guys. I don't even consider any of these guys hopeful because I don't see winning with any of these guys. The Brandon Ingrams of the world, the Zach LaVine. I mean, I don't know how you could watch. That's like giving the least morsel of hope is Zach LaVine. This isn't pre-pandemic. I don't care about Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine has shown enough in Chicago where you're not. I'd rather have DeMar DeRozan than Zach LaVine. That's how. I don't know. He just doesn't contribute to winning, and I don't know. I don't know. And I mean, how much do you care about fit with Joel Embiid, or are you just trying to get the best talented guy in the building? Where does fit in with you?
Well, let me circle back for a second on the two guys you mentioned. So Zach LaVine, according to good friend of the show, Jake Fisher, he apparently is the fallback option, or one of the fallback options for the Philadelphia 76ers. But it sounds like that the Kings appear to be most in for Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine makes $100 billion over the next few years. But it's a good fit, but he has no legs left. Literally, he basically has no knees. So you have Zach LaVine, and then it seems like Paul George, Brandon Ingram, among all the guys we mentioned, seems like to be the most likely option out of all those guys to probably wind up in Philadelphia because apparently the Pelicans aren't super enamored with him and probably want to move on from him or whatever. Fit. I don't think it's hard to find a fit with Joel Embiid. I mean, there's certain guys, there's ideal guys that you want. Ideally you want, somebody who can stretch the floor, who can shoot a little bit, stretch the floor, whatever, kind of, be that ancillary scorer. An efficient ancillary scorer. You're not going to find a whole lot of efficient guys.
That's not Brandon Ingram.
You're not going to find a whole lot of efficient guys on this free agent, this free agency, landscape or for trade or whatever like that. The darn sure ain't Brandon Ingram. Is it DeMar DeRozan who you mentioned? Possibly. I don't know, not the most efficient guy, but he's mid-range, second level kind of scorer. Long story short, I don't think it's gonna the guy they bring in. I don't think it's going to have a fit problem with Joel Embiid. I think there's guys who fit better than others, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh no. And I feel that because now you're just pivoting towards I don't know, whatever happens in this offseason is not going to be ideal. It's kind of going to end up being.
We don't know.
But just I don't know, making reasonable prognostications. I don't know.
It probably will not be ideal. Right?
Yeah.
It probably will not be ideal. Because again, and I'm going to throw this out there, and it's people have thrown this possibility out there. Probably not likely, but possibility of maybe getting Lauri Markkanen from the Jazz. Throw every pick that you have to the Jazz. Maybe they want to get off a Lauri Markkanen's deal or whatever like that. That would be ideal. That would be an ideal situation.
But that's
highly unlikely.
Not under reasonable prognostication. So under I don't know, these terms of engagement, getting I mean, if you don't get Anunoby or Brandon Ingram, I don't know what the heck you do. And you sure aren't punting because you will literally, how people were up in arms about trading playoff tickets to Knicks fans. You're be trading regular season. You will lose a big ton of this fan base if you don't do anything. If you say, you know what, give us time. There's no more time. You need to I mean, you can't have KCP as your big free agent. You need to do something. I mean, this is where I don't know, the level of creativity has to come in, and say, you know what, we got to empty out the vault. There's no tomorrow. Like, I don't know. Like, you can't tell your players and your fans, be like, give us more time. I don't have more time. I have less than time. So, I mean, but this has been, frankly, this is what the Sixers are as a franchise. They are just, I don't know, like, they just they just, whatever you would hope for it to happen. And this is not this year. This is the last 9, 8, 7. It hasn't happened. And that's why people like me are losing hope.
Yeah. So let's put these things in the bucket. So the ideal-ish situations will probably be, let's say, trade for Markkanen, sign OG Anunoby at a reasonable deal, whatever like that. All right. So then, like, they're kind of like, all right, this will work. It's probably, Brandon Ingram or whatever. You can sell that a little bit. Like, the less than ideal situations are probably the sign KCP or sign Klay Thompson or, trade for Jimmy Butler. Like, I think there's like 3 different buckets of like outcomes that you're going to, well,
to be honest, I feel
the fourth bucket is like, just throw money, just like a bunch of bums and just like,
yeah, no, to be honest, I feel that you could probably sell Jimmy Butler over Brandon Ingram. I feel like, I don't know, like, I'll be honest, you could probably, I mean, not the like smart fans, because like, I don't know, like, but to a general ticket buying customer, if you brought Jimmy Butler in and be like, yo, we brought the band back, even though he is like, basically, who thinks he has the power of LeBron that really hasn't delivered the same amount as, like, I mean, you are going like, and a Jimmy Butler with leverage is a terrible Jimmy Butler to have, because he knows he has this franchise by the what. Like, I don't know, he can kind of do and say whatever the hell. And I mean, that's why for me, like, Jimmy Butler is off the table. I mean, like, I would rather, like, I don't know, like, not the we'll fight another day, but I'd rather have Brandon Ingram 7 out of 7 days over, because I just don't want this team to be rated by a guy who frankly isn't worth rating anymore. Like, I don't know. At least with Brandon Ingram, he won't talk much. He'll put up his 20. I'm not sure how productive he'll be in the playoffs, because that style of pounding the ball, and like, I don't know, he's a good shot creator. He's a good shot creator. I don't think he's been in the playoffs enough where I've seen, I'm not sure. But he's also not had an ideal roster around. But I'm not sure he'll have an ideal roster around him here. I mean, he'll have a better roster than he had in New Orleans, but it's just, once again, it's hope. Like, I don't know. And OG Anunoby is for me it's the safest option for hope, and then Brandon Ingram is, you know what? He is not hopeless. Like, I don't know. And like, I don't know. I would rather just, like, I don't know, like, and of course like, the first game he drops 36 and, like, I don't know, goes nuts in the paint, like, goes nuts on post up fadeaways or whatever the hell his game is, because I don't know what his game is. Like, I don't know. He's a very traditional scorer. He's like a mid range. Like, I don't know. Like, he has 3-point range, but he's not a volume 3-point shooter. Like, I don't know. Like,
he's like a poor man's KD. Like this type of game he has. Like,
yeah, and like, I don't know. Like, like you and Joel will need to, like, I don't know, like, figure out who's in the post or not. I mean, it's not Ja and Joel. Like, I don't know, but I feel like, I don't know. At some point, that fit won't be ideal. I can't believe I talked myself into Brandon Ingram. I really, like, it's gross, but I mean, like, this is why, like, I'm still alive as a Sixers fan. I'm not dead, but I'm also, like, I don't know, like, and the worst quality to have as a Sixers fan? Being rational. And, like, I don't know, like, it's just like, is a Brandon Ingram, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey trio competing with a Celtics team who's bringing everybody back, and maybe a Heat team with Paul George and Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler doesn't even, like, phase me anymore. I'll say Paul George and Bam Adebayo. Like, I feel like, I don't know.
That team stinks.
But
I'm sorry, that team stinks.
But Roy, we've said this. Like, how many times have we said the Miami Heat stink, and they completely blow the expectations out of the water?
This is different. This
No,
team,
see, this is what brings the inner Sixers fan out of you, because I guarantee you have said this for years. No, the Miami Heat stink. They make it to the finals. Oh, the Miami Heat stink. Like, I don't like. This is where you can't like. They have that cachet that they'll just figure it out. The Sixers don't. Like, I don't know. If you had to rank those teams, I'm taking the Heat too, because frankly, the Sixers haven't done anything to deserve, like, I don't know, that break over the Heat. They haven't.
if a Sixers team with Joel Embiid and Brandon Ingram, I don't even love Brandon Ingram, but Brandon Ingram and Tyrese Maxey isn't better than a Heat team with bad knee Jimmy Butler and Paul George and Bam Adebayo and overrated Tyler Hero and whatever else. I'm sorry. Like, I'm done. Like, this is like, I get it. Like, I understand your point. Cause like I understand, because Eric Spoelstra might be the best coach in the NBA, and he can make chicken salad out of chicken. You know what? Like, I get it. Like, the Miami Heat win series, they have no business winning. I understand that. They got to the finals last year, and they had no business getting to the finals last year. I understand that. We've kind of narrowed the gap when it comes to the coaching, so it shouldn't be that big of a coaching disparity.
When is the last time?
If you have the best player on the court, then I would imagine, and two of the three best players in the series, I'd imagine you would. I would hope.
There's the operative word. No, this is where I ask you, Roy. When is the last time you said out loud the Sixers won a series they had no business winning?
No, it's been a long time.
Yeah, this is where I'm at.
Probably that Bulls series when Derrick Rose got hurt.
Yeah. No, I feel like this is where I just think, like, the Sixers have zero benefit of the doubt for me. Like, it's a very, like, I don't know, like, and it's not just like the last year; it's the last 6. And you know who is the, like, and I've said all these acquisitions don't mean a thing until you figure out, you and the best player figure out how to get him upright and ready to bleep and go in April. That's it. Like, I don't know. And because all this talk about this is just window dressing for the inevitable, like, crushing knee injury that you get. I mean, like, because that's really the, like, you can, like, because if he is not lugging, like, I don't know, like, just dragging a leg down, I'll take Embiid, but I mean, I need to see it. And until I see it with my 2 eyes that he is not half dead in April, then none of this matters. But I'll assume, I mean, I'll go out of my body and assume that he'll be healthy in April. I mean, like, history will tell you he'll not be, but for this argument, I'll say he will.
All right, let's move on to the other NBA news of the week. Of course, we do need to discuss one guy who will not be coming to the Philadelphia 76ers. That's Malik Monk, re-signing with the Kings, 4 years, $78 million. Pretty good deal, maximum they could have offered him. He was sixth man of the – was he sixth? I think he was second sixth man of the year, voting last year. But fantastic scorer off the bench. The Chicago Bulls also traded Alex Caruso to OKC for Josh Giddey, straight up, which is a little bit weird because OKC has like 1 million picks and Alex Caruso is better than Josh Giddey. And you would think you would probably get one of those picks off of the OKC for him. But I don't know. The Bulls apparently turned down multiple offers for Alex Caruso. They wanted apparently 4 unprotected first round picks for Alex Caruso. Wind up trading them for Josh Giddey. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but neither here nor there. Most important NBA news of the week: Boston Celtics beat the Dallas Mavericks 4-1 to win the NBA title, the 18th banner for the Boston Celtics. Jaylen Brown is your MVP, despite Jason Tatum leading the team in points and rebounds and assists in a series. Very ineffective scorer, but whatever it is, whatever. Celtics win the series. Jaylen Brown wins your MVP. Jason Tatum mimics 17 different people while celebrating the title for the Boston Celtics. I saw the stupid thing on, I want to say First Take. I'm pretty sure it was First Take. One of those stupid shows. Because, again, we can't have a reasonable discussion about things after things happen. And the question was, are Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum top 5 NBA players? And we're like, come on, fam. We don't need to have this discussion. Yes, they won the title. Yes, Jaylen Brown's the MVP. Yes, they had a decent run. They didn't beat anybody, but whatever.
I mean, this is the same.
You don't have to anoint somebody just because they won the NBA title, right? You can just win the NBA title and not be a top 5 player.
This is the same network that tried to argue that Kyrie and Luka were a top 5 backcourt duo of all time. They're barely a top five back.
We can have that discussion. Offensively, we can have that discussion. We can have it. We can't have this top 5 player discussion. Okay.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've said the most important person in that organization isn't the player. It's Brad Stevens. And until Brad Stevens quits or finds something else more entertaining to do, I mean, like, they basically said, you know what? We're going to get a multi-race Brad Stevens as a coach, because basically this is the brain truck. Like, this is the experiment of Brad Stevens. Mazzola, the coach, like, I don't know, this is his offense. And I mean, like, it took them a while, because I mean, like, their star players frankly choked multiple years. This isn't me saying that. This is like, I take the stuff I say from like one of my like friends who's probably like can't remember where the hell he's at in Boston right now. But I feel that, like, I don't know, like, they have won so many trades and so many draft picks that this felt inevitable, and frankly, it felt overdue. And like, I feel that they probably need to win another one to make this era feel worthwhile. But I mean, that's how dominant this Celtics era has been. I mean, they've been to 2 finals and every Eastern Conference final in the last 7 years, and they still feel like they've left. Like, I mean, could you imagine having a basketball team like that? That's crazy. But they're going to be the favorite again. I mean, you're bringing everyone back. That's why, like, I don't know, like, it feels very, very daunting to try to, like, I mean, there isn't a transaction that one team can make to put them on the Boston tier. Boston's on their own tier.
Sure. Yeah, Boston's on their own tier. Yeah, you are doing as whatever you possibly can to narrow the gap between you and Boston. You cannot do anything within reason to overtake Boston.
Oh, no. The biggest opponent for the Celtics is complacency. Is, like, I don't know, like, that championship hangover. That really is it. Like, I don't know. And maybe, like, I mean, that's why having a Holiday on that team is so, because, I mean, he really, like, I mean, it's not a coincidence. They won the title once they got Drew. I mean, like, I mean, people didn't think he would be a massive upgrade over Marcus Smart. He ended up being. And no, I mean, like, that's where the frustrating part of being non-Celtics fans is. Most teams, if they swap the supposed best, the leader of the team for another guy, it completely craters. It doesn't for the Celtics. They get a better leader, and they know exactly when to pick up a guy, because they know one of their guys is washed. And I mean Al. Al's trash. He's completely washed up. But they got a guy.
You think he's washed?
I think Al Horford. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
He gave him a little something. He gave him a little something.
No, like, I mean, like, he is, like, I mean, is he? I don't know, like, completely washed. But I feel that, like, him, like, he has his moments. But I feel that's why they got Porzingis, because they knew Horford can't give you Horford stuff for 82.
Right?
No. But I feel that, like, I mean, dude, he'll still be a part of that. No, he'll end up being one of these dudes that just picks his spots. I mean, that's why you have Porzingis and probably need to get a backup center. Because for any team that's not the Sixers, Al Horford is vibes. He's not for the Sixers. I mean, like, dude, like, he is beloved in Boston. Beloved. I mean, like, they love the heck out of him. So, I mean, this is really, like, I don't know, a masterclass on how to, like, that. When people say replicate what the Celtics did, you can't. There's no way. You can't completely win 2 straight drafts where both of the teams in front of you and in back of you made, in hindsight, the wrong pick. That doesn't happen. Correct. Like, people blame the Sixers. You can blame the Lakers too, because they drafted Lonzo. Like, they could have easily drafted one of these guys.
Yeah. No. Like, the Celtics, everything kind of fell right for the Celtics, and well, I'll say fell right, but maybe the other team just made wrong decisions or whatever like that. But the Celtics are going to be hard to overtake this offseason. Probably won't be overtaken by any team in the East this offseason. Before we move on from the NBA, though, the other bit of news we do need to discuss: JJ Redick, 4-year deal to become the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers after their flirtation with Dan Hurley. Again, I know we want to talk some wrestling, so I want to leave some time for that. But you have any news? You have any thoughts about the JJ Redick thing? You know,
Congratulations,
job. You know, whatever.
Congratulations on LeBron James being the first assistant coach /
Had nothing to do with it. A lot of people out there
this is the stuff that bothers me with LeBron, and of course I see the Bronny stuff just blows my mind. Where he's just got. I'm telling you, you know how we talk about the WWE machine. He's got the media machine. He's got Rich Paul. He's got almost every one of these insiders in his back pocket. And he just I don't know. He's like, oh, if any other second round pick would say, yeah, man, I'm only working out for the Lakers and the Mavs, people would be going insane. But for its body, I've always said, I don't have a problem with LeBron flexing. I don't know, to a point, I'd almost say he's earned it because he's really done a ton for it. But just don't play that passive aggressive stuff and be like, oh, me? Oh, I'm doing that? No, just own it. At least have Rich Paul own it.
Yeah, no, LeBron has not owned any of this, even though that he's the man pulling these puppet strings, in the backyard. It really is weird that a second round pick is like, I'm working out for the Suns and the Lakers, and that's it. I want to play in the NBA, but I only want to work out for the team.
What if Matt McClung did this? I don't know. This is
sure. What if Zach Edey? Zach Edey's a first round pick now. What if Zach Edey said, I'm only working out for this team, and that's it? Come on, fam. You're not a top
people have gone nuts over top 10 picks doing this.
Right.
We're I don't know.
If you're not a top 5 pick, if you're doing that, fam, what are you? Who are you? Come on.
Hey, man, I have no problem, dude. Hey, man, if you have a chance to make your son a nepo baby, knock yourself out. I just it's just the compounding of every you don't think that LeBron is rubber stamping every one of these coaches that gets fired? You don't think if he wanted Darvin Ham to stay, he'd be like, yo, let Darvin. No, this is this is the closest LeBron is going to get to having beyond direct input on how a basketball team is run. Because it's that podcast. I'm telling you, it's almost uncanny how I'm telling you, he is really one of the smartest athletes in terms of just using his influence. I'll give him credit for that. Just be ready when this team is a playing team.
Again, we have 2 minutes to go. I'm going to give you a choice because we have 3 wrestling things that I wanted to discuss. Give you a choice. We got the Wyatt Six debut. We got CM Punk and Drew McIntyre doing CM Punk and Drew McIntyre things, or we have the preliminary SummerSlam.
Oh man, no! Hit me with the last one, baby. Hit me with the last one because I'm interested.
Yes, go ahead. Preliminary.
No, I'm interested to see what you have to say. What your predictions are right now.
So I think this is a pretty solid prediction from this card that I've seen. Not sure where it came from, but preliminary SummerSlam card is built out right now. Cody versus Solo Sikoa. Logan Paul versus LA Knight, presumably for the U.S. title. Gunther versus Damian Priest or Seth Rollins. Priest and Rollins are fighting each other at Money in the Bank for the World Heavyweight Championship. And Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. If CM Punk is medically cleared, that looks like the SummerSlam card right now. Looks like a pretty solid card.
What are you doing, man? What are you doing August the 2nd? Man? That looks like a hell of a card. The only question I ask is if Cody versus Solo is because obviously it's the move because we've seen this story already. Because you need that the main event because you can't you need when the credits run and I don't even know how obviously Bloodline Wolfpack comes out and Caesar Sikoa, Solo Sikoa, every Tongan and every Samoan in Cleveland. The trademark, the WWE trademark department is going crazy right now. But you see it. I don't know. They come and Heyman is screaming for his life, and then you hear Def Rebel, the one Def Rebel song. I thought about it. This could be on the same level as the vaunted return at the Garden by Triple H. I've already thought about it when that got because it's gonna end. You see the credits, copyright WWE. I hate to use the word. It's cinema because you have built this up. Even how mid this Horace Hogan bloodline is right now. You've built up where people and their they're feeding into the "We Want Roman." You already see, like, I don't know, they're leading into the "We Want Roman." You see Heyman crying, wanting his tribal chief. It's there, and when you hear that, and I think it's just going to be Roman because then like he needs to do the kind of like the olive branch to like Jimmy and Jay, be like, "Yo, man, I need y'all. Like, you my right hand man." I mean, I'm telling you, this is like Godfather. It's like no, but you can't not have Roman for much longer. You need, or like, I mean, there is so much. Paul Heyman is back is broke from carrying this bloodline plotline right now.
Yeah, we have to get out of here. So
Sorry.
I will leave my no, it's fine. I will leave my long thoughts on this later. But I will say that I've had the end credit cinema thought as well. So I think that's where we're going with this. But we will talk more about this next week. We'll talk more about this in the weeks to come. Thank you guys for listening. 106.5 FM, WPPM-LP Philadelphia. But until next week, we are out of here. Mr. Domingo, take us out, please.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
See you guys.